Back in May, I had a chance to catch up with Brad Bradley. He had just gotten the Heritage job a few months before, and Coach Bradley talked with me about his philosophy of coaching, how he's changed, what he's learned, and what excites him about Heritage. We'll talk to him much more in the upcoming weeks and months ahead about the Pioneers, but here's Brad Bradley right now on the Sports Buffet podcast. Brad Bradley's back in town. He's a new coach of the Heritage Pioneers, a very successful season in Amelia. Talk about the reason why coming back to Lynchburg and taking this Heritage job.
I think some of the biggest reasons, we did have a very successful season in Amelia, and I was very fortunate to be a part of a bunch of a great group of seniors. I'm very excited to be back in Heritage. One of the biggest things that was biggest reason I took the job is I'm back home. My wife and I spent almost 10 years here when I was at William Campbell. We lived all 9.5 years in Lynchburg, owned a house over on Blue Ridge Street off of Oakley, rented a place over off McConville Road for 6 years. And, I thought it was a chance to come back home, number one. I never made it. I've always said that, I made a mistake when I left William Campbell to go to Patrick Henry. I loved the football part of it, loved the kids. Did not look like working for, Roanoke City and those kind of things. And sometimes not everywhere's a fit. Got the athletic director's job and head football coach at Amelia, and really enjoyed it. Got to see another aspect of it after being an assistant AD at Campbell for a couple, 6 years, and then doing the whole thing at Amelia for a year. I got to see another side of it, and I enjoyed it. I feel like that I'm going to be a better football coach, better teacher, better overall organizer as a result of my experience as an athletic director, but I'm a football coach. And I want to do it all the time, and I want to do it year round. And unfortunately, being the athletic director takes a lot of your time away and those kind of things. So, I feel real fortunate when the job came open. I talked to Dr. Meyer when the job came open. I think he's a big supporter of sports, not just football, but all sports in the school. Mark Storm's probably one of the best athletic directors around. Been doing it a long time, So I feel like both of those people in the administration, assistant principals, Mr. Beatty. There's just some good people here. My defensive coordinator was right in the school as the media specialist. I call him a librarian. But Coach Meadows helped me for 2 years at William Campbell. Helped him this past year at Amelia. I'm been able to bring John Eric with me down here as an assistant coach, and I'm gonna be able to put Danny Broggan on my staff that played for the quarterback for me in 2005. We won a state championship. Eventually, I want to try to hire some other guys that played for me when I was at William Campbell. I thought it was a chance, number one, to put a staff together that I know. Number two is get the chance to get back to the area. But the biggest reason I think that I've always thought that Heritage High School could be one of those schools. It sits right in the heart of Lynchburg. It's got tremendous facilities. I've always heard nothing but good things about the Lynchburg City schools. And, I just thought that would be a great opportunity, and it is. And I've been here since, the 7th of February when I got hired. I've been in and out pretty much 3 days a week, back and forth, as much as I can, sometimes 4 days a week. Still doing the athletic director duties in Amelia, and I've been very, very pleased, very, very happy. Kids have been working their butts off, and we're just looking for that first game against Magna Vista and trying to get started up here August 30th.
Talk about the importance of, when you've left places, I think you have left them much better than you've found them. Talk about how prideful that makes you feel.
Well, I think, a lot of people, I guess, give me a bad rap because I have moved around. This would be my third job in the last 4 years. But, I left William Campbell. I was there 10 years, almost 10 years. I was there 9 football seasons. And, it was a tremendous experience, but it was time to leave. I just felt like that, my principal was on his way out. He's going up to central office. Our superintendent, Dr. Nolly, was retiring. A lot of things were changing. The aspects were changing at William Campbell. And I took the Patrick Henry job. I just didn't fit there. Just didn't work. I have nothing bad to say. I thought it was a great experience. Just didn't fit. And I felt like in both those situations, they've been around. The kids can tell that I was there for the kids, number one. Number two, was there to make them better football players and to help them out and to make the program top notch. And I felt like that I did that at both those places. I went to Amelia, and we had some struggles financially, just like everybody's having right now. But we found a way. We had a fundraising coordinator there, Will Jones. Will was actually a resource officer in the building, was helping to raise a lot of money for all the sports. And we were able to go in there with help of our superintendent and the school board and those kind of things. We were able to kind of get the equipment up to par. And, I feel like that each and every time I have left, I have made it a better place. And it's not just me, my staff, people, my administration, central office, whatever. But one of the things I feel like that I do have, whether I win another game or not, is I feel like I know how to put together the program, from the ground up, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be, facilities, whether it be, the equipment, whatever it may be. I feel like that I know what a football team needs to be a good football program. And, as today it's getting even harder and harder financially, you got to be creative in the ways that, you get things done. So, I do have a lot of pride in that. I have even more pride than that any school I've been to, I still have kids that contact me. I had a couple kids that played for me in 1996 at Gilmer County come down to 3 or 2 Amelia games this past year. And to me, that's what coaching's all about. When those kids want to come to watch you play or to watch you coach, and you've coached them however many odd years ago, 20 or 12, 13 years ago, I think that's a big deal. And that's what excites me. And that's what excites me about being around here. I have a lot of kids that, but they're not kids anymore, they're men that played for me at Campbell that I can, number one, I think reconnect with, number two, maybe a chance to get them on my staff one day.
How important is it, while right now you're not in the building every day because of your duties being finished up at Amelia, that you got Meadows here to kind of be your eyes and ears, and if somebody needs something, they got somewhere they can go?
Well, Coach Meadows done a tremendous job. I would never tell him that to his face, but I guess if he listens to this podcast, he'll know. But Coach Meadows done a great job. He's taken on the role as a head coach, as if he was in the building. He was taking care of those things. I've been here a lot in the after school. I've made probably more than 90% of the weightlifting lifting dates that we've had since the dead period, which was in February. I also got to give a lot of credit to Coach Tucker. Coach Tucker's done a tremendous job. He's helped me on through the phone, scheduling, getting things here, there, helping out with workouts, whatever. So both those guys have really been my eyes and ears in the school. Coach Storm obviously been tremendous support for me, Mr. Meyer, Dr. Meyer. But also, a couple of my new coaches have come every day to weightlifting, done everything. Coach Harris has done a tremendous job. Ramiro Morgan's done an awesome job. And Danny Broggan has been in there doing those things. So, really with Coach Meadows and Coach Tucker, they've kind of taken the role of, the head coach. They've taken the role of making sure kids stay out of trouble, this and that, and I give them a lot of credit for that. And I think any success that we have this year and everything, that as smooth as everything is gone, they have to get the credit for that.
I think any time a big job would come open in this area, with you not being in the area, your name's going to pop up with the success you had at Campbell. This and EC Glass came open on the same day. You kind of hit on it, but what made this to you the job that you wanted?
I didn't apply for EC Glass. They opened them both up at the same time. A lot of people applied for both. Mm-hmm. More people out there than applied for both. Mm-hmm. To me, I only applied for Heritage. I only want to be the Heritage football coach. I'm not so sure that if Heritage hadn't came open, I would apply for a job. I was happy in Amelia. I was the athletic director. We were a small school system, but at the end of the day, Heritage came open. I've always thought it was a good job. Talked to Coach Meadows about it. Contacted Dr. Storm, put my application in, and once the process started going forward, I really wanted the job. I got a chance to come in here, see the turf field. I've seen it before. We scrimmaged Brookville on it when I was at PH. The more I got involved in it, the more I wanted the job. And I thought my wife and I wanted to get back to this area. And when I got the job, I knew that I made the right decision. And there will be no more names for there will be no more jobs around this area with my name up. I'm here till they fire me. And hopefully that's not too soon from now. But I'm done moving around. 2009, I made that transition from William Campbell to PH. Was on the road all the time. Had to put together a football team on the road basically. Last year, 2011, going into from PH to Amelia, was doing that. Now I'm doing it to Heritage. I'm not doing it anymore. My wife and I are here to stay, and we've got a place off of Leesville Road, off of 24 there. I don't know if we'll stay there forever, but right. We're going to rent there for at least a year and see what's going on. But we're at Heritage for a long time, and my wife's going to be working in the school system. I don't know where yet, but right now I'm a pioneer. I plan on being a pioneer, and I'll let people say what they want to say, but I'm excited about getting really used to the orange and blue.
Is City Stadium a good venue?
I was just talking to Coach Meadows today, actually. I have not been in City Stadium since I played there in 1989. And you've probably interviewed me 1,000 times, and I've never mentioned one thing about my playing time. Mm-hmm. how any planned it. But I do remember in 1989, I was a sophomore. We played Heritage. I think we won 10-3, or it was a close game, and I actually got defensive player of the game with Dave Ross. Dave Ross I got the player of the game on defense. I'll never forget that. And that's the last time I've been to City Stadium. So, I like it. To me, it's a historic stadium. The Bo Henson days when EC Glass was so good. I remember going to City Stadium as the ball boy at Salem with Coach White, and my father was there, Larry Bradley. And I like the tradition of it. Like I said, I really can't say much else about it because I haven't been there since 1989. We used to live 5 blocks away from it, but I never was there. I've been to the Hillcats Field, watched fireworks from the outside, for 9 years. But I'm excited about it. Don't plan on going there until the first game against Magna Vista, and it's our home stadium, and we're excited about it.
Let me rephrase the question. City Stadium has not been one of the more populated places in terms of at high school football games. That's kind of where I was going.
I think that goes around. I would think that probably in 2002 when Coach Jones took them to the state championship, I'd say they probably had a lot of people in the stands there those years. And I think that that's my job to as a football coach, not only to win games but put people in the stands. And I think no matter where you're at William Campbell at the end, we were winning 11 ball games a year and still didn't put people in the stands. And I think that it's all about what you're doing and when you're doing it and those kind of things. But I have a feeling, and I'm excited to see what kind of crowds we get and the excitement level we can get to raise. And the excitement level about Heritage football.
But you've coached at city schools and you've coached at county school, and to me, just from the outside, that city school feels like the big type job per se.
Yeah, and I don't think any coach gets in it to have a lot of people in the stands.
Right.
I think you get into it to make your kids better and to put a football team on the field, number one, that can win football games, number two, that you can be proud of, and those kind of things. But it has nothing to do with bigger, smaller, da-da-da-da-da. When we were at William Campbell, we would have played anybody in the state of Virginia by far. I feel like that Heritage is in one of the best districts in the state of Virginia. Coach Woody over at Brookville, obviously he's defending state champion this year. Amherst has done a tremendous job. Coach Phillips, Coach Berlin's team is on the rise over at Brookville. Coach Rice's team at Jefferson Forest. I don't want to leave anybody out because they're all good.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest reasons that excited me about being here is the Seminole District. To me, it's one of the best districts in the state. Year in, year out, you get some really good football teams from the Seminole District. And Coach Watts from Liberty. And that's what really excited me about it. To me, I say this, jokingly, but to me, it's a conference very comparable in AA football to the SEC in college football, because you're gonna when you line up in the Seminole District, you better be ready to play, and that's what excites me about that.
Do you like playing people and I will say this, beating people that a little bit more than that you don't, or does it not care?
I don't think really. Still being a young coach, even though next year will be my 16th year as a head coach, I think that's very overrated. I think you prepare for a football game, you just want to win the football game. I do have more fun now, knowing people that you get more camaraderie with.
Right.
So I know Coach Woody and I joke with each other all the time, this and that. We never played each other before. Coach Jones now, when he was at Pulaski and I was at Patrick Henry, we're good friends, and he beat me in triple overtime, and if you're in this game long enough, it changes. When I was young, I just wanted to win. I didn't get it. And now I didn't talk to anybody before the games. Now, you create friendships. I'm more involved outside of just between the lines now. That you're forced to make friendships. You're forced to have acquaintances. And this is such a tight knit. And I say tight knit. Football coach is a tight knit group of people. It's unlike any other job. So we understand what each other's going through, and I think that's I respect the guys in the Seminole District a lot. Number one, they're really good coaches, but I think that would be the same in any conference, any district in the state, or any other state in the United States.
The Heritage kids, if they don't know you, how long do you think it's going to take them to get to know you, and how well can they get to know what Brad Bradley's all about just by being in the weight room?
I think they're starting to get to know me. We have a lot of kids right now. We're just in baseball season. Soccer's getting ready to start district tournament. Track's getting ready to get into the region. So there's some kids that haven't been here all the time. But as a majority, I've gotten to meet most of the kids as a whole, and you know what to expect from me. They know that we're going to be excited. They know we're going to be full speed. They probably haven't seen me be probably as hard on them yet as I'm going to be. But, you've been around me for 9, 10, 11 years, 12 years coaching, and one thing, I'm going to get on our kids, but I'm going to be the first one to hug them in the face and get excited. We're going to have fun. And, I'm going to treat, I told them I don't have any sons, so I plan on having 100 sons this year. And that's how it's always been. And, if we quit having fun, I quit coaching, because that's the reason I coach, and that's the reason that's the reason I got involved in football. I never wanted to get up and had to go to a factory and go to work. I wanted to get up and look forward to doing something. That's what I'm doing.
Short-term and long-term goals for the program.
I think short-term is to win. Long-term is to win. I think short-term is we got to win the Magna Vista game. I mean, it's 100%. That's what's circled on our schedule. That's what we're working for. It's game one. I think long-term is we want to create tradition here. We want to win each and every year. And in high school football, you don't get to go out and recruit. You don't get this. But I think short-term goal is we gotta prepare for that first game, just like any other year you've been around me. We don't look ahead that first game. That's our first game. That's all we're worried about. Short-term goals in the summer is get a little bit bigger, get a little bit faster, get a little bit stronger, get a little bit more camaraderie. Now with the new season rules, get a little bit farther. Not very good grammar, but get a little further ahead.
Right.
Going out, we've done at least 1-2 days of 7-on-7 practice each week. Coach Eric's been holding the lineman camp on Mondays and Wednesdays for 2 or 3 weeks going on now. During the summer, we plan on going 4 days a week, some weeks, and then 3 days a week to make up for the dead week we're going to have in July. So I think short-term goals, we're going to work our butts off in the summer. We want to beat Magna Vista, obviously, and it's just the first game of the season. Long-term goals, I want to sit right here 3 years from now and talk about the same things. And my goal would be that we have a consistent program. One of the things that we were most proud at Campbell wasn't that we won 2 state championships and the district titles and the regional titles. It was that we were able to be successful every single year. Some years we had great talent. Some years we did not. But we were able to find a way to win. And I think that's what a good program is all about.
I think Danny Broggan can be a very important part of your coaching staff. If for no other reason, he's played for you. He knows that he knows how you can get on somebody. How important is it that he can be that outreach to the kids of, hey, this is what Coach Bradley means when he's doing this, or yada yada.
Well, he's already been a great one. He's been at a couple 7-on-7s. He's been in the weight room for a while, and he's already kind of pulled him over to the side and said, look, got him, this or that, and he's been really good. But plus, to be honest with you, he knows a lot of football.
Right.
Playing for Coach Rocco over at Liberty, and he played a little bit of receiver there, played a little running back, played a little, obviously played quarterback for us in high school, and then ended up being a captain and an all-conference player his senior year on the defensive side of the ball. And I feel like he's going to be a great coach. I'm gonna put a lot of responsibility on him. He's gonna help run our DBs on defense, and he's going to be my right-hand man. Coach Eric obviously in the box, helping call the plays, but Danny's going to be helping signal stuff in, and he's going to be my right-hand man on offense. I'm probably going to give him more, if not as much, more responsibility than I gave Coach Hamlet the last couple of years I was at William Campbell.
And one thing that got me about Danny Broggan is I remember back in the day, I can't remember what game it was, when he was quarterbacking for you guys, and Coach Van Acker was like, you only completed 5 passes tonight, and Broggan said, but we won, didn't we? So he sees that bigger picture.
And Danny was talking about the other day, he's like, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with I. It has everything to do with team. And, in our weight room, in our column there, when you walked in our weight room, you just saw our weight room, it's together. And you've been around me long enough, that's my work. We're together. I don't care. You could have the best quarterback in the nation. If your line doesn't block, he can't complete a pass, and he can't run a yard. You can have the best running back in the world. If the line doesn't block, whatever, you can have the best receivers, same thing. You got the best linemen in the world. But if they don't work together, they're not worth a crap. And we talked to our kids today about it doesn't matter. You can take 11 great kids and not play together, and then take 11 average kids and they can beat their ass because they're going to play together. They're going to believe in themselves. And we want to find those 11 kids on offense, 11 kids on defense, 11 kids on special teams that want to play football Pioneer way, and they want to play Pioneer football, and they want to do it all the time.
We kind of touched on this earlier. You've been gone from the area for a while now. You're back. How's Brad Bradley changed?
I think that I think you get older, things change. Like I said, when I came to Campbell in 2000, I was 25, 26 years old. It was all about this and that. Now I think the biggest thing is when you get, the older you get, the more crap you get involved in that doesn't have anything to do with football. You get involved with this, you get involved with that. You're doing this camp, you're doing this. I help. Get in this, get involved with this, get involved in that. You try to or you end up, and you can't help but get involved with other things outside of just your everyday business of practice, weightlifting, and whatever. And I think that's the biggest issue when you're a young guy. You don't really think about that stuff. You're not really interested when you're older, and that's the kind of stuff you have to do. And I think the biggest thing is, I have a big perspective. We took the PH team there, and we took them what I thought from ground zero. They'd have 55 kids playing in the program in 2008 and 2009. We brought that from 58 to about 83. In 2010, we had over 100 kids. They went from 1 and 9. We went 3 and 7 our first year. We made a lot of changes, personnel changes. We removed a lot of kids that didn't want to do things our way. And then in 2010, we were 6 and 4. I had the first winning season there since 2000 or 1999. So I felt like that, we went through a process. Amelia, I walked into a great situation, but at the same time, we had to win, and we did. We won those 12 football games. Nobody else did it. We did it. Here, I feel like that there's a lot of things that that we have going for us. It's not building from ground zero, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that I want to change. There's a lot of things I think need changing, and I think that now that they've come in, they understand it. It doesn't matter how we're going to do it. We're going to do it Pioneer way, and that Pioneer way is going to be my way. And it's not going to be that it's a dictatorship, because you've been around me long enough to know that's not the case. Right. But we're going to do things a certain way. We're going to handle ourselves a certain way, and we're going to be expected to be a certain way, and that's what we're all about.
It's still not in the game to win any popularity contest, right?
No, never, and I don't think it's ever going to be. And I think if you're going to be a head coach and you're trying to win a popularity contest, you're probably in the wrong sport in anything you do, because at the end of the day, you've got to make those decisions. They're not always going to be the most popular decisions, and you got to go to bed at night. And I've never had a problem with living with my decisions, and so far, knock on wood, we've had very good success. And I feel like that, I know this for a fact. You've heard me say this a million times. Kids don't win games, or excuse me, coaches don't win games. Right. Kids win games. Right. Kids don't lose games. Right. Coaches lose games. Right. And I've never won a game in my life, but my kids have won them all, and my kids have never lost a game in their life. I blame it on that stupid head coach, which is me. So, I've been very blessed to have a bunch of good kids. I feel like that we're very, very blessed right here at Heritage High School, because I think that we have not only some good athletes, but we have some hard-working kids. And I love their camaraderie. I love their the way they go get it attitude. And I'm excited to see them get after it on the field in July the 30th.
Coach, best of luck this season. We'll talk to you all year long.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good one.